What up racer, it's Jerone here and welcome back to another league racing video after there was not a video last week due to a break week, but I'll promise for the next break week, which comes up in a month's time, I will have a video, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, we are here for the Temple of Speed around Italy, Monza. As you can see, the standings after 5 races, we are in 7th place after lag issues in Austria, a spin in Japan, then probably my best race driving wise, going from P12 to what should have been P4 without a crash around Silverstone, then the podium in Hungary, quite uneventful, and last week we got 4th place after Pedro received a penalty. As you can see, it's still quite close, even 2nd place is still on the cards. I think latest is uncatchable for me, so 2nd place is still on the cards, and we just have to be consistent, try to score good points, and we'll just see where we end up in the end. So of course it is time for qualifying. As you can see, it will be completely dry, in fact it will be completely sunny throughout both qualifying and the race. So first flying lap, I set a 18.9, which is very slow to be honest, but it's a banker lap, so it doesn't really matter too much. But then for the second set of tires I wanted to use, I loaded up for 2 laps of fuel, but unfortunately I invalidate at 2 different places at the Ascari chicane, so that's quite unfortunate, because that means I'm still stuck with my 1 minute 18.9, which puts me in 10th place for the moment. So at this moment in time I was just watching the standings, the leaderboards basically, and Pasti still needs to set a lap, and he's aiming to do that on medium tires, but also Basti is on a lap, who has not set a lap time yet, and as you can see he moves up into 8th place, which means we are now in 11th place. And to be honest, it's quite powerful to have soft tires at the end here, so I was quite happy to be in P11 to be honest. But coming onto this lap, I decided I only wanted to actually set a valid lap time in case I could at least get into what I thought would be the top 4, and to do that I felt like I would have had to do an 18.2. So only if I improve by more than 6/10 this lap, I will set the lap time. As you can see, going through the 2nd chicane, going up into 5th gear for the exit, just to keep the car stable, chucking it into the first Lesmo, try to use all the exit available. 2nd Lesmo, missed the inside a little bit, so that definitely cost a little bit of time, but as you can see we are 3.5 up at this moment. Bursting down the straight, DRS open, braking just before the 100, but unfortunately I also invalidate this Ascari chicane once again, and that means I won't be able to set a lap time for this qualifying session anymore. But I just wanted to see what I would have done in case I didn't invalidate, and as you can see it would have been more than a 7/10 improvement, and it could have been an 18.1. But that didn't happen, but we do have the free tire choice starting from P11, and as you can see an 18.1, or perhaps if I didn't invalidate it, it would have been an 18.2. It would have put me in 3rd or 4th place, so bit of a shame, could have started a lot higher up, but as I said, starting on the medium tire and ending on the soft tire is quite a powerful strategy, so I'll have to make the best out of that situation. Also Tin Can, and I think Tin Can crashed out, and Pasti clearly wanted to start on medium tires, as he only set 1 qualifying lap on medium tires. So we will see how this one pans out. Of course, selecting the medium tires, putting in a little bit of extra fuel, although it's quite hard to burn off fuel due to a lot of this track being straight. and in the slipstream of course your engine heats up quite a lot. On the formation lap, just some quite weird things happening again. I don't know what it is with me and formation laps, but Basti hit the wall in front of me. Quite lucky he didn't get reset back to the track. Interestingly, Seb has decided to start on soft tires. So anyways, the 5 red lights are coming on and away we go. And pay attention to the right hand side. Why does like smoke come up behind my tires? That's the question for you. If someone knows why that's the case, then I would really like to know. It doesn't really seem to hamper my starts too much, but I think it's quite odd that it only happens with my car. But anyways, coming down into turn 1, Seb managed to get past me, as now Pasti is alongside me going into the first chicane, and he has the better exit, so I'll just slot in behind for now. And all the medium runners, well, there are only 3 of us, are at the back of the field still, so for now I will just try to follow Pasti through the field and see where we can end up, of course, because our race really starts when we are on the soft tires and we have to make our way through the field again. So just trying to settle into a rhythm a bit. Also a massive props up to everyone for keeping it clean. It seemed like there were no incidents at the start, which is quite surprising around Monza, since, well, in basically any open lobby you join there's always just pure pandemonium into turn 1, but we all kept it very clean, so that's good. Second lap still behind Basti, as I already get my first track extension warning, so that's not very optimal of course, but one of the main problems around this track is engine temperatures. Your engine overheats very very quickly, as now there's action onto the third lap as we get hit by tin can a little bit, and that causes me to have a poor exit. And to be honest, I mean, it was a little bit dirty. I don't think he really meant to touch me, but I just decided to let him go because, well, I can just save all my battery and then I don't have any pressure from behind, so I didn't really mind too much, as Pasti got up to 11th place, making his way past Pyro. But yeah, as you will see in a few moments, there was quite a lot of action down into turn 1, which overall does not really work well for our race. As you can also see on the minimap in the bottom left, there's a gap between the Renault that's leading this pack and the front pack. So ideally for our strategy, it would have been a lot better if we could have stayed close to the leaders, as I think Basti made a mistake, and well, some really weird visual glitches where basically the braking marker got destroyed in the middle of the track where there was the braking marker, as now Basti loses it on what I would like to call the curb of death. It has struck its first victim this race, and it's the Austrian man Basti. So he's basically out of contention for this race, as he also has a 5-second penalty already, and I think in a few moments you will see he actually retires from the race. So now there's an air gap between well, not me and Tin Can, but between Tin Can and Seb. I could have easily overtaken Tin Can there if I had decided to actually use my ERS, because Tin Can was out of the 1 second DRS range, but I even turned off the DRS halfway down the straight just to make clear I didn't want to overtake him. Next lap he caught up to Seb, but unfortunately Seb spins on the first chicane. So that's another 3 place gain for us, which essentially means we are back in our starting position. But then on lap 8 I already get my 3rd warning extending on the exit, and that means I have a 3-second time penalty behind my name. So basically, as some of the soft runners are now coming into the pit lane, we have a gap between Tin Can and myself and the soft runners in front of us. So coming into lap 9, I decided I wanted to lead the pack, me and Tin Can, for a little bit, just to see what my pace would be like. But as you will see in a few moments time, this lap, to be honest, was quite shocking, as well, basically what happens before the race, I usually do like 20 to 25 minutes of time trial just to get up to speed, but I really couldn't hook a good lap together anymore, and I think that also showed in qualifying, and it really hurt my confidence, because also now just in the race simulation, as you can see, just going too deep again, causing another warning. So this really is not a good lap, and it's not a good look either for me. But yeah, just hitting the grass again on the left hand side, it was just such a poor lap that I just decided to let Tin Can go again, and I'll just follow behind, see what he can do on, well, he clearly makes a lot less mistakes during the laps, so I think it's just a better idea to let him carry me along instead of the other way around. So yeah, this part of this video really shows how important it is that you are comfortable at the time of driving, because I think that lap in clear air just showed that I didn't really know, or I wasn't quite confident enough. I was second guessing myself where the braking point exactly was, whether it would be exactly where I was braking or 5 meters later or earlier. But then at the end of lap 15, both Basti, who pulled 4-second gap onto us, and Tin Can both come into the pit lane, and I decided to go for another lap. By the way, watch the delta to latest now. It's 5.5 seconds. That will be important in a few moments time for my explanation. But I think, to be honest, this lap in clear air that I do, it's a lot cleaner, although I literally just did a lockup into the second chicane. But besides that, I think the lap was quite good still, and of course I want to minimize the undercut that Tin Can get, so deciding to use quite a lot of ERS, which I could comfortably save when I was driving behind Tin Can. And yeah, to be honest, this is just quite a good lap. I'm even up on my delta time at this moment in time, so it just shows that I can still do quite a consistent pace on these tires. And also looking at the delta time to latest, it's still 5.3 seconds, as I literally set a personal best time, and I felt very comfortable in these tires still, so I decided to go for another lap. And what's also or what made me do this strategy of overcutting for 2 laps is that it's very hard to pull out of DRS range, and I suspected that Tin Can would get stuck in traffic at some point, and when you have fresher tires it's a lot easier to make the moves at the end of the race. So as you can see, Latest, Terror Racer, Solid Ninja, Ralph, all coming through. They are the leaders, or the lead pack of the field, and here come Teskel, Bernardo and Pastius all the way there, and then there is the last group which we were fighting with at the time. And as you can see, Tin Can is 4 seconds ahead of me now, and to be honest I was quite shocked that the undercut was this powerful, as well I basically only lost half a second with respect to race leader Latest his time. So I felt like I was doing quite okay pace, but apparently that wasn't completely the case. But now of course it is time to make use of our fresh soft compound tires, as I also have my 6-second penalty now at this stage, but fortunately there are a lot of other people around me who also have 3 or 6 second penalties, and by the end of lap 21 we have already caught up to the pack again. Of Of course I want to strike while the iron is hot, but as you can see, a quick update of the race situation. There's a lead group of 5 cars, then there's Pasty completely on his own, and then it looks like there's a train from 7th place all the way to myself now. As you can see, the red light of Pyro flashing, which means he is below 10% ERS. I was quite diligent with my ERS usage in the first laps of the stint, so that means I still have 50% of my battery available, and that was just a very easy, quick move on Pyro. So let's see, let's try to dispatch of Tescal and Bernardo as early as possible. As you can see on the minimap, Tin Can only just got in front of the Red Bull in his McLaren as he goes very wide, nearly lost the car completely. He even went to the grass on the right hand side, but fortunately for Tin Can he managed to control it, as we are now just diligently waiting, not using any ERS on this straight, as it's a very awkward move if you try to go down the inside into Ascari, as Bernardo goes quite deep into the second part of the Ascari chicane, so he gets a very bad run. He might even be out of DRS range from Tin Can, and this lures us into the battle as well, as now there's a safety car because Seb behind us, I think, crashed out into the wall of the second Lesmo, as I nearly hit Tescal there. I wasn't really, well, I was daydreaming a little bit, I guess. But fortunately I reacted in time, didn't crash. But Bernardo and Tescal both coming into the pit lane, sticking on a fresh set of soft tires presumably, or perhaps a used set, I don't know if anyone went for 4 runs in qualifying. But also some of the race leaders, as you can see, Ninja Snake, Zach and Ladus coming into the pit lane, as me and Ben of course continue. Pasty in front of us as well, and then there are 2 of the lead group that have stayed out, who are Terror Racer and Ralph. So status quo, Ralph and Terror on old mediums, then Pasty and Tin Can on old mediums or old softs, then there's me on semi-old softs, and basically everyone behind me has bolted on a new set of soft tires during the pit stop, as now the green flag has been given. We are underway again, as we have Ladus on our side, and we touch on the straight a little bit, which fortunately did not result into a crash. But let's see, this is a pure sprint race for 2 laps till the checkered flag, as Ladus gets the move done on me. But then Pasty does not decide to leave Ladus any space, and they both go off, which means we have now been promoted into 4th place. But of course, since the pack is so tight right now, time penalties will play a massive role in the outcome of the race, as I get another warning. But of course I want to try and steal a podium perhaps away from Tin Can, although it's quite unlikely because Ninja Snake behind me has less penalties than I have at this stage, and Zach as well, he only has 3 seconds of time penalties. And it will be very exciting to see from everyone behind who managed to keep it clean throughout the race, and who will move up the field and who will move down the field as a result of time penalties. Very exciting times of course due to the safety car, because otherwise I would have been fighting for 7th place, and now perhaps a podium is on the line. But as you can see on the bottom left of the steering wheel, the capital D, that shows the ERS allotment for the lap, and the white bar was very close to running out, and in fact it has run out coming across start finish line, which means Solid Ninja has got a decent run on me. I decided to use a lot of ERS again down the straight, and we managed to defend the inside for the first chicane, and the inside of that chicane is king in race situations, as McLaren lawnmower technology XL Tin Can decides to mow a bit of grass, which definitely cost him a bit of time, so that means I'm now very close to his back again. And
I did mistakes. Come on, Charles. I am stupid.
So that's how I felt at the time of driving, of course. This is just completely idiotic to get a penalty at this stage, as also Solid Ninja behind me has now got his 6-second penalty. So last lap of the race, only one straight and parabolica to go. And to be honest, I wanted to try and do the same thing as what happened to me, where I ran out of ERS allotment, and that's how I was aiming to try and catch Tin Can off guard, but Solid Ninja used a lot of ERS and decided to let him go. But now, as you can see, trying to get close to Tin Can, we close in a lot as they wheel bang across the line. It's a 5th place on track, and we only drop down to 6th for the moment, but then Ladis actually managed to keep the car somewhat on track after his incident, and without penalties managed to steal 6th, or well, he finished in 3rd place in the end, but that promotes us down to 7th place, and he also stole the fastest lap away from Tin Can, one of our championship rivals. But looking back at the incident, pretty much at this point where the contact happened, I think we were both trying to be a bit of the alpha male, trying to push each other out of the slipstream from the car ahead. But I wasn't turning at the moment of the incident, and he turned left a little bit. So fortunately though, it didn't result in an airplane crash, and we could both continue our way down into turn 1. Here at the braking, Ladis quite clearly ahead on the inside, so decided to let him go. As I actually do sort of the same thing to Zach behind, as on my eyes I was watching Pasty in front, but I heard the contact at my right rear wheels, and that's why I turned left immediately, where Pasty didn't. So very topsy-turvy race. Congrats to the top 3 and everyone who gained a lot of positions by keeping it clean. It's a 7th place for me. It could have been 6th place if I didn't get the penalty, then I would have jumped Tin Can, or perhaps even 5th place, because on equal time penalties I would have defended harder from Solid Ninja going into Parabolica. But reality doesn't care about ifs. If your aunt had a dick, she would be your uncle, but you get what you deserve, and in this case it was a 7th place for me. You could also look at it from the bright perspective, otherwise I would have been fighting for 7th place anyway, and now I received 7th place. So I think I can just be happy with the result of this race. So if you did enjoy the video, then it would be massively appreciated if you could hit the like button, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.